Hello and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Okay guys, gather around because this is going to be a good one. This is really interesting. So I saw this post on X by Steven Neroff, and for you guys who don't know who he is, he's actually an ex-Ethereum advisor. He actually had a lawsuit put on him by the SEC, and it's basically in regards to him knowing too much information. Now, I'm not going to get too much into that because that's not necessarily the purpose of this video, but I'm just trying to give you a bit of a background in regards to who he is. Now, there's two things that he speaks about here that I think you guys are going to want to hear. And it's really got me thinking in one specific part that he mentioned. And I'll be honest with you, it really made me have that light bulb moment in regards to why the SEC have been so hellbent on definitely suppressing XRP in particular, but why they're just not so crypto friendly. And I think we actually have the answer within this post when we dig a little bit deeper. Like, Steven Neroff kind of scratches the surface, but then when I started thinking about it on a deeper level, I started to think maybe this really is the answer. So I'll just quickly show you his X profile just so you can see. Here he is, Steven Neroff, and as you can see on his description, you can see Ethereum there because he was an advisor for Ethereum. Now, he's basically mentioned how there's a lot of corruption that went on with Ethereum. He's basically talking about the Ethereum free pass. You know, he's talking about the corruption that happened with the SEC, and basically that's why they went after him, because he knew too much and whatnot. And so he's very much got to a point now where he's like, I'm just speaking out for myself because they was trying to shut me up. They've been trying to put a wrongful lawsuit on me and that kind of thing. And because of ETHgate now that's come out through the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit, obviously a lot of information has come out about ETHgate, right? And so he started to come out now and just speak his truth, right? Speak what he knows has been going on and just exposing the realities of what's happening here. And he's basically saying the government are corrupt, okay? And so let's get into this because there's two parts of this that I want to address. There's something that he mentions about price, which is going to be a great thing that you guys are going to want to hear. But then let's get into the other side of this as to why Ripple, right? Like, when you think about it and you say, man, like, there's so many cryptos out there. Why XRP? And why were they so adamant on XRP? Like, they've really gone after XRP, you know, like tooth and nail, like, right? They're very hard and stubborn when it comes to them. There was no room for settlement or anything like that. Like, they really went all in, and they lost, which is rightfully so. But now I'm starting to think, were they scared of what XRP was going to do? Were they scared of XRP's true utility? And I'll get into this a little bit further, but I'll put it like this. When we think about XRP being potentially a bridge currency, right? I think they were scared of the true power that XRP can harness. And I think they did not want that to happen because they was trying to protect America's economy. That's what I think. Now, I used to say I think it was the legacy financial systems, which I do also think that was also a part of it. But I also think it's the actual greater economy as well. And to get into more specifics, if you want the exact details, what I'm referring to here, I'm talking about the US dollar being the world reserve currency. And I think that's where the fear was. So let's get into what Steven Neroff has said here, and then I can go a little bit further into my thoughts. So he said, and this is in regards to someone asking him a question about price, but then he also goes into the theory about the bridge currency that XRP can provide, right? So he said, I believe XRP has no ceiling if they achieve their objectives. It's not a simple response, but I'll give a high level take. Usually a lower XRP price would make their offering more attractive. However, Ripple is clearly the odds-on favorite to win in a, quote, network effects, unquote, model. Once this is achieved, XRP must be used, and at that point, I don't see a ceiling on the price. So, first and foremost, that absolutely sounds incredible in regards to XRP and price. So that was amazing to hear that. But now let's just move on a little bit further and then we can get a little deeper into this, right? Look at the US dollar, which has network effects and is the standard that must be used in countless instances. There is clearly no ceiling on the price of the dollar as it gets massively depreciated, but price becomes irrelevant, overshadowed by its required necessity. Come to think of it, could XRP take the reserve currency role in part or whole? Interesting concept. Wonder if that had anything to do with Ripple being viciously and unfairly targeted. Probably just a conspiracy theory that so many powerful entities would go to such lengths to unjustly do everything they can to slow Brad Garlinghouse and company down, as they knew they couldn't be caught with their quote favoured unquote alternatives. Note that I don't own XRP or Ether right now, so nobody can say I'm doing this for any ulterior motives other than justice and radical change to a more fair and transparent system. Okay, so let's just get into this, because I know there's going to be a bit of pushback that people may try and give in regards to this. So first and foremost, you may say, oh, is he just a disgruntled ex-employee? No, I don't agree with that. Like, at the end of the day, he's got no reason to be that mad at Ethereum to just be wanting to hit back. He's angry because of the lawsuit that came against him and the way they were trying to unfairly scrutinize him and potentially put him in prison. Like, yeah, of course. And I think that's rightfully so. You'd be angry about that kind of thing. That's potentially trying to mess up his life, right? Of course, and his freedom. So that's completely understandable. But let me put it to you like this, right, guys? But let me put it to you like this. You guys who are regular watchers on my channel know I am not really with conspiracy theories. I'm not someone who just does hype content. That's really not me. So when it comes to things like conspiracy theories, I'm not someone who just jumps on board with those willy-nilly. Like, for me, there has to be certain levels of evidence for me to feel comfortable with speaking about conspiracy theories, because otherwise they're just ungrounded opinions, right? Like, they're just opinions with no real merit. So I'm not really into spreading those kind of theories or doing that kind of content. But when I look at this, right, you haven't just got to look at Stephen here, right? Let's look at the ETHgate scandal that we had from the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit. We've seen all the evidence that would show that there was definitely shady behavior, right, by the SEC. So this isn't like it's just one person saying this by themselves. Like, we already know all the things that came out from ETHgate. So there's no reason to think that what Stephen here is saying is a lie, right? You've got no reason to doubt him at this point. Like, I don't believe ETHgate is a conspiracy theory at this point. There's more than enough evidence to just say that simply is true. There was nefarious activity going on with the SEC and Ethereum's advisors and Ethereum's creators, right? I think that's safe to say at this point. So I'm not just going off of the ramblings of just one person. I'm going with stuff that I can see that can also back up what Stephen is saying. Now, with that being said, guys, one of the things he said there that really caught my interest was in regards to him saying that XRP could take the role of being the reserve currency, right? The global reserve currency. And so when I really started thinking about this was when I really started to think deeply about this. And I'm thinking, you know what? I really think he's onto something there. Because let's look at it like this, right? When we looked at Ripple and XRP, every country in the world were happy saying that XRP is a digital asset, right? Saying that it's not a security. It was only America that was doing the lawsuit and saying that they were selling securities. And again, it's like, why would you look so comfortable being so wrong when you've got all these other countries saying otherwise, and then you look like the one backwards country that's saying something different? Doesn't that make you look silly when you've got that many other countries who are saying, no, XRP is a digital asset, it's fine, it's a currency, it's not a security? But then you've got this one country who's the biggest economy in the world who are saying, no, it's securities. Isn't that strange? And so then I started to think about it, right? And I thought about, okay, we know that people have said, including Ripple, right? David Schwartz spoke about it, Ripple have spoke about it, that they were trying to get XRP to be the global reserve currency. That was one of their objectives at some point. So think about this, right? You've got here the government, basically, because the SEC is ultimately part of the government, right? The US government. They see this cryptocurrency technology come out. They see all the things that it can do. And we see specifically what XRP can do. And we know that XRP could play a role at some point in the future as being a global reserve currency. Would America really want that though? Or would they want to protect their status as having the US dollar as the global reserve currency? Right? Think about it. For other countries, they're going to say, well, yeah, let XRP be the global reserve currency because we would rather it be XRP than it be the US dollar, because at least then we've not all got to bend to America's will, right? So if it's not going to be their currency, well, let it be XRP because it has no jurisdiction, because it's completely decentralized, right? There's no authority. So there's no one country in charge in that sense who directly benefits from having this as the global reserve currency, right? But would America want that? Because if America say, okay, yes, we'll let XRP be the global reserve currency, they're essentially giving up their status of having the global reserve currency, which is what has made America one of the most powerful economies in the world, right? So when you think about it in that sense, does it not make sense that the whole reason why Gary Gensler, the SEC, the government are fighting so hard for this technology to be crippled is because they're afraid of what it's going to do to America's status? It could actually harm them. And so you've got all the other countries who just look at it as, yeah, it's just technology, because they've got no benefit from trying to stifle the technology. If anything, they benefit more from the technology coming through, because as we say, if XRP did get accepted as a global reserve currency, well, yeah, now they're not having to keep going to America all the time and benefiting America's pockets. But America don't want that, right? America don't want to lose that power that they have, that control. So this would be bad for them. So when you think about it like that, guys, does that not start to make sense why the elite, the SEC, the government went after Ripple and XRP? Does that not make sense now why they've tried so hard to fight XRP? To me, that makes perfect sense. Now, I can't say that 100%, but when we put all this together, to me, it makes all the sense in the world. And then you just add in the fact that you've got the Ethereum guys who've obviously bought their way out, and I'm sure they didn't want XRP to do well either, because they know the power of XRP as well. They were in competition with them. It was neck and neck. And so, yeah, they wanted them out the picture too. So, to me, that all makes sense. So, I just found that really interesting. And when I started thinking about it like that, like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I think when you put the pieces of the puzzle together, to me, it fits. It really does. And so, I just wonder if that's what it is, if that's exactly why this happened. They knew what XRP could be in the future, and they were terrified. So, just my thoughts there, guys, but one thing to think about. So, let's just move on from that topic and now just quickly go to price before we wrap this up. Guys, did you hear what he said? XRP will have no ceiling for price once utility is involved. Guys, who knows where this could go in the future? This is the kind of thing that we're talking about, guys. This is the kind of price action you'll be waiting for. And this is why I personally am saying I'm not going to sell all of my XRP. Don't get me wrong, if this bull market is coming right now, if this is a bull market that we're entering into, and it very much looks like that's the case, I am taking some profits. I will just make that clear, because there's certain things in my life that I need to change now if I have the opportunity to do so. But I'm not selling all my XRP. I'm just not doing that. I'm definitely keeping some for a long-term play, because I see these kind of stuff that Ripple could do and XRP can do, and I just want to see where that price can go long-term. So I'm definitely interested to see how this can work out, and I think it's absolutely incredible seeing this information. And you've got this coming from someone who was an advisor to Ethereum. So he understands crypto technology, right? He understands what he's talking about. This isn't just random speculation, right? It's not. So when you hear that kind of stuff, guys, doesn't that just make you excited for the future of XRP? Because it definitely does for me. So, real great post here by Stephen Neroff. Really interesting to see. I hope he actually managed to get himself sorted out in regards to the lawsuit. I won't go into that right now because it's not for the purpose of this video, but it does seem like he's being unfairly targeted, and I know they're not going to like the fact that he's speaking out, because they've already been embarrassed enough as it is. So it's looking bad for Ethereum, it's looking bad for the SEC. They're not going to want this, but it's justice and it's truth. So I only think that's fair. So we'll see how things go, guys, but incredible post here, and I think it really does show you what could potentially be going on. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with the information I've now given you? Do you think that the SEC's role the whole time was to protect the US dollar from losing its status as the global reserve currency? Do you think they knew that XRP had the potential to become the global reserve currency and did not want that to happen? What do you think about hearing about the price? Does this make you excited? Does it start making you think about what the price could potentially get to in the future? Or do you not agree with me? Do you think this really is just a random conspiracy theory with no real basis or grounds to have any kind of merit to it? And do you not think XRP will have any type of chance to actually go to any type of high price, because you do think there's some kind of ceiling that will stop it? Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'd be interested to hear. Thank you very much for watching this. If you did like it, please remember to drop a comment, like, and subscribe. But until next time, take care.